Alright guys, this is day 2 of the 4B11 swap project. Last night I went home, completely forgot to bring my camera back home with me, so I filmed the headlight cleaning process on my cell phone. Look how beautiful it came out. That's good enough for me.
So we're draining the fluid on the transmission. We got the drain plug here on the side. It's a very similar plug like the T-case. They're identical.
Yeah,
there's the T-case drain plug. There's the transmission drain plug. This is the fill plug on the transmission, and then the fill plug on the T-case is actually right on the outer edge.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how this fluid looks. These are magnetic typically. Ooh. It's not very uncommon to see some metal shavings on the magnetic drain plug. Yeah, some are worse than others, but on a who knows when the transmission was last done. I wouldn't say it's the end of the world, but I definitely would keep a close eye on it. I usually like to use the red line fluid on the transmission, like a 75-90. Some people like to do the cocktail, which is, I want to say, the MT90 mixed with the MTL, exactly. I personally just run either Motul Gear 300 or 75-90, both which are 75-90, or the red line. I had a built TRE stage 3 technically trans in my Evo 10 with the 418 final drive. Yeah, they pretty much require the same fluids. They are a little notchy when they're cold, but the moment the fluid warms up, it usually feels pretty good. Right. As long as there's nothing internally wrong with the transmission. Right. We actually run all AMSOIL fluid into the GTR built transes. Okay. They actually only take the AMSOIL ATF stuff. That's what Shep recommends. So a lot of people might find this hard to believe. Granted, the 4G63 versus 4B11T debate all the time. The Evo 10 actually does have a much better transmission than the 8s and 9s. Mm-hmm. The gears are much thicker, and besides maybe doing a final drive, they don't really do much as far as building the trans. John at TRE showed me comparisons of the 8, 9 versus the 10. Mm-hmm. The trans in the 10 and the T-case in the 10 is stout. Might feel a little notchy, but it'll actually handle a lot of power compared to the 8, 9.
And Joe on TRE built my diff on the Evo 8 also.
That is one thing that is a weak point on the 10.
Oh, really?
Diff with the AYC pump. It's obviously a half and half. It's pretty much a glass rear diff on these cars. Really? Yeah. Okay. And a lot of people, when they start making high horsepower, do switch to the 8 and 9 rear ends with the 8 and 9 axles. Usually they do a built diff. Yeah, you have to do the whole rear swap just because it won't bolt up. The axles won't. That's pretty much the only weak point drivetrain wise on the 10.
And delete the AYC when you do that, right?
Yep, some people delete. Yeah, you just pretty much delete it. You'll have the flashing lights. If you go with a standalone ECU like a Motec, you can obviously control that stuff. But
you have to go standalone though to get rid of that.
Yeah, and actually nowadays I think the guys over at Road Race Engineering offer tuning for the AYC. They can actually flash the AYC and you can split the power a little differently.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they can modify like the snow, gravel, tarmac modes, which is really cool. I just saw that.
The AYC is a beautiful thing about the X though. Like it really is one of the cool systems, you know?
Yeah.
The yaw control.
Yeah, it worked really well, and unless the car was daily driven and saw a lot of salt and snow, that's the only time it had issues with the AYC pump failing, and that's why Driven Fab makes the relocation kit for the trunk. My car never had any issues, but then again, it saw one winter. But they did extend, 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on those.
Yeah, Mitsubishi extended the warranty. So.
Wow, well that's good. That's rare to hear.
It is. They knew it was an issue, and that was cool that they took care of it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to the transfer case. So this is the drain plug on the transfer case, like previously mentioned. The fill plug is all the way over here in the corner.
You see how
Yeah. Again, use the fluid pump just like the transmission. The T-case barely takes a full quart, whereas the trans, I want to say, takes just under 2. Ooh, that's real sludgy. The transmission definitely seemed like it was in a little bit better shape. Not the end of the world. We're going to fill this up with some Redline lightweight shockproof, which is the blue fluid. That's what John at TRE recommends. It works really well.
I didn't know Redline made blue fluids.
Yep, the blue fluid is the lightweight, and then the red fluid is the heavyweight.
No, I didn't know.
John actually said you can run it on the stock diff, a little thicker. So
Yeah, just a
you
little
want it a little
time.
warmed up before you start, partaking in any launching shenanigans. Not bad though, not too many metal shavings. Just
bad.
looks like it hasn't been changed in a while.
Yeah. And this, guys, is the AYC pump on the Evo 10s. So we're in the back now, trying to get the diff fluid out, but there's AYC fluid drain also.
So this would be the AYC fluid drain right here.
Okay.
This is going to be the rear diff fluid.
Rear diff.
So if you want to review it, this is the AYC fluid fill. This is the AYC fluid drain.
Yeah.
This is the drain for the rear diff, and this is the fill plugs for the rear diff.
Right, front and back. Cool. So make sure you don't drain the wrong plug.
Coming out.
Yep.
Oh, thick. Looks better than the transfer case though.
These are magnetic too, right?
Yep. Not bad at all. Who knows when it was done?
So we're getting the O2 sensors off. You got one here and one up there, right next to each other. Woo! Strong man. What are we working on now, Stan?
We're disconnecting the battery cable as well as the ECU mounting bracket. Once we remove this, it makes it much easier to get to the transmission mounts right from the top. It is a little claustrophobic over here as there is a lot of wiring.
Here is the stock ECU.
The lockout collar goes into the pressure plate. And what you have to do is when you put the clutch in, it pushes the throwout bearing against the clutch.
Right.
So you pretty much have to mimic that without putting the clutch in. So what you do is you push down the locking collar,
Yeah.
you just push it in, and then you twist it, and it unclips it from the pressure plate.
Yeah.
Once it does that, the throwout bearing comes completely out.
So Raj, as you guys have probably seen already in the past, with 800-ish wheel horsepower Evo 10, comes here on a Saturday evening to hang out, but he's working on the car. And Stan over here, the mechanic,
I'm taking a little break.
drinking coffee.
Boy.
Damn, this no, you're good. Ever since Raj showed up, I have no time to film.
That's why I don't film anymore.
It's fast as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's true, yeah. So we got the axle out, remove the axle nut, wiggle this out, we move the joint on the lower end. There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah, you can see in the camera too, the glitter, the metal shavings in the oil there.
Let me just say that I'm glad I chose a 4G63 platform to build instead of 4B11. Right, Raj? Because this is turning into a big pain. So we got the compressor off, we just hanging off there for now so we can swap onto the new motor. And we are trying to drop the subframe just so slightly so we can get to the steering rack. Alright guys, so this is where we're at now. We got the subframe out with the control arms. Got the T case off. We're getting this last mount off and we should be able to drop the motor. And there it is. So we got the car lowered on the table now. So those side motor mounts on the passenger side, all the last pieces we kept to drop off the motor. Everything else is completely clear.
Alright, go ahead. Alright, stop.
Alright guys, the motor is out of the car. After removing all this stuff, all of that, and the subframe here. Essentially what we did at the end was we put the cable right under the engine, lifted the car up slowly, and made sure the engine was nice and stable on the table. So the motor is out, we're done for the day. We're gonna come back here tomorrow and basically strip off whatever we were salvaging of the old motor and put onto the new one. Having fun? Before and after of Stan.
Man,
Looking beautiful.
why you gotta do me like that?
So that's it for today, guys. Hope you learned a thing or two from this video. See you in the next episode. Damn, yeah, that is a long cord. What? Are you sure that's a drum?
I hope that's the wrong one.